So on my mobility aid journey, I got a rollator almost a year ago and I love it. It's overtaken my traditional wheelchair as my second most used mobility aid. I love how flexible it is because it changes from a wheelchair to a rollator and back again like fairly easily. This video has no affiliation with the Rollator company. They don't know I'm making this video. Way back last year, they did send it to me for free in exchange for those videos. So that's all of the context basically. I use this rollator all the time and I love it and I'm so happy to have it, but it's not perfect. So the plan is to make a structured tote bag because the main thing I need is storage. I want to take advantage of the space inside of the wheelchair and make a bag for it. So I'm gonna make my own. That's gonna be the main function. It's just a tote bag that I can put things in. But I have some specific features in mind. I want a water bottle holder because I never have anywhere to put my water bottle. I want a slip pocket for my iPad. When I go out to work in a cafe, I put my iPad loose in a tote bag and it just feels very precarious. So I want it to have its own dedicated spot where I trust that it's safe. I want to have a clip inside so I can clip my keys to it so I don't have to like search around. The bag itself needs to be structured so it doesn't crumple or fall over, and I need a way to secure the bag to the rollator. There are several ways I could do this, but I think I'm going to go very simple and just add Velcro to the sides and create little Velcro loops. And the thing that I think is going to be the sticking point, but I really want to work out, is a way to attach my walking stick. Now, the rollator has its own way to attach the walking stick. It's a little clip with a little elastic band that holds the clip in place, which is then slid in and out of another clip on the rollator. I lost the little elastic band very early on. Since then, I've been using hairbands to keep it in the clip. And though they work, they don't provide the same amount of friction and it means it slides through. I'm sure I could get a replacement, but I don't love that it requires me to not lose a small loose piece. Now, you don't need to take it out out of the clip every time because the clip slides off the rollator. However, my walking stick is one of the most beautiful things. It's clear acrylic, it's got these bubbles, it's beautiful. And it's got this little black piece of plastic on it all the time. You can see it a lot on Instagram. There's me with my stick and it's got this little ugly black plastic thing on it, which isn't really the point, right? I don't want that piece of plastic there. It's convenient that you don't have to take it in and out because you just slide it in on and off. The convenience is why I leave it on, but I hate how it looks. So the main, I think, sticking point for this sewing project is going to be working out how to secure the walking stick to the bag and therefore to the front of the rollator without it sliding. I think there's lots of ways I could attach it, but it's gonna slide and have the same issue that my clip used to. I've never sewn a bag, and I've definitely never sewn a bag that has like so many functions. So storage, security, and also walking stick holder. These are like my main things. This is gonna be functional and streamlined, and it's gonna, make my life easier. That's the goal, but it also needs to be pretty. I am not someone who can abide ugly things. So not only is this bag going to be functional, fingers crossed, it's also going to be pink to match the rollator, and as if it's not complicated enough, it's going to be patchwork and quilted, and there may also need to be bows. Who's to say? But the first thing that needs to be done is to piece the patchwork together. Nothing else can be done before I've done that. So let's start. So I've done the front panel. I've pieced it like a quilt, which you can totally do if you like this. You could basically do it as simple or complicated as you want, because it's literally just make rectangles. You could just do solid piece of fabric, which would obviously be the easiest, or you could do an incredibly intricate quilt design, but I've just gone with cute little checks. Today I'm matching. The next things to do are interface the pieces and quilt the pieces, basically adding as much structure into, you know, this floppy piece of fabric as possible so the bag stands up on its own. So I've done like the quilting of the main pieces, which I think looks really cute. So I've got 2 side pieces and a front and a back, all quilted and done. I also have all those same pieces in this solid pink. This is going to be the lining. And they've and they've all got interfacing to be ironed on as well. Then I've got the base, which is going to be 2 layers of the coloured fabric for both inside and outside. Also going to have a layer of interfacing just because I had some left over and I'd like it to be as stiff as possible. And felt. 2 layers of felt, because that's as much as I can get out of the felt that I have left over from another project. Happens to be pink because I just happen to own pink things. Part of me is wondering whether I should put cardboard in the base just to give it that extra stability. But I don't know if I'd like it not to be ruined if it gets wet. So that's kind of why I'm thinking not cardboard. I'm hoping that with the interfacing with 2 layers of felt, it's going to be like sturdy enough. But actually, it's quite floppy. You know, I know the interfacing isn't stuck to anything, but still, it's like quite floppy. So maybe putting like a sheet of card or maybe even cardboard inside would be the best way to do it. I might have a Google. There's probably like materials you're supposed to use for this purpose, but I've got cardboard. A lot of the materials I'm using I already had, so I could buy something for it, or I could just not. So that's the base. We're still debating. I'm also doing the iPad pocket. Basically, I want a safe place to put my iPad when I'm taking it to a coffee shop to work, because I'm on a new making content kick, as you can tell. So I'm going out to coffee shops and trying to get work done. I need a way to like safely transport my iPad because that's what I edit on. So I'm going to do another round of quilting for the iPad pocket just so the iPad is protected. I've also made this weird shape. This is going to be the water bottle holder, and I'm going to elasticate the middle and the top so it clings, and there's going to be like a cutout because I've got one of those, I've got like a fake Stanley, so the handle will go through there. I've never actually made a water bottle holder before, and when you look at water bottle holders online, usually they're non-handle ones, so I'm just like, I don't know how this is going to work, so we're going to find out. That's all of my plans at the moment. We are making progress. I'm really pleased. I think this is very cute, and I think this will be a cute tote bag either way. So yeah, we will see. Yeah, that's the plan. It's going pretty well so far, I think.
people who make proper bags probably don't do this method. I don't care. This is free and fun. So the base cardboard is drying. I don't know if you can tell, I'm making this all up as I go. I really like crafts and I don't love following instructions for the craft. I like to just go with the vibe, and I really like it when I can do things without buying more materials. So this is DIY. So that's kind of, it's still a bit wet, but it's mostly dry. And I've ironed the interfacing onto all the pieces. So the next job is to quilt the iPad pocket, and also I don't know if it counts as quilting if it's got felt between it, but I feel like it does. So then also quilt 2 layers of the base. So I'm going to be quilting. So I went to my local fabric shop today and I got a couple of things. So the main thing I got was canvas, but because the pieces I don't think are sturdy enough with just the interfacing and the batting. So I think they need, before I sandwich the lining and the outer together, I think they need more in the middle. So I got some canvas, so I'm gonna do 1 or 2 layers of the canvas to give it more like rigidity, depending on how much I have. I only bought a meter, but it's quite wide. I could have done some maths and worked out how much I needed before I went, but I didn't. That brings us on to this for the handles. I'm going to do this double layered, and then it might also have canvas in it, and also I'm thinking maybe putting some boning in it too, just so it's really sturdy, because the handles are going to be used for, the structure of the handles is going to be needed for securing the walking stick. So we'll see how that goes. I bought some poppers, but I bought anorak / jacket snaps. I think these are going to be stronger. I think these are going to be stronger than like regular poppers. So hopefully they'll be good for the various popper things that I want to add. And I also got a swivel clip, because that's apparently what they're called. And this is going to be for inside, and it's going to be so I can clip my keys to it. I already got D-rings. So the next job is to cut out the canvas and see how much we've got. So I need 2 of these and 2 of these. I would double it over like normal fabric, but honestly I worry for my hands. I've just put 1 layer of canvas between the outer and the inner, and I've just pinned it together, and it stands up on its own, which it definitely didn't do before. I think 1's plenty. I think with 2 it makes it just a lot heavier. I'm very pleased with this, and it's not got the bottom in yet, so it's just kind of like a weird tube, but yeah, stands up all on its own. I think that's quite a success. It stands up. So that's the main like body of it done. I've also got the bottom and pocket. So next job is sew on anything that's going on the inside, like the pockets and a clip for the loop, a loop for a clip, and things like that all need to be sewn on before I like construct it. So that's for the insides. The outsides I need to sew on the handles and another 2 loops before it's sewn together, so that the raw edges of those things can be like sandwiched in the seams. So I'm gonna unpin this so it's just 4 separate pieces, and each piece is gonna be sorted out individually first before it's all constructed. No, scratch that order. It's take the layers apart, attach the outer stuff to the outer layers, the inner stuff to the inner layers, and then sandwich the layers together so the sewing for each doesn't end up on the other side. That's the order. Here's the lining and iPad pocket. And now for the pocket on the other side. Okay, that is those 2 pockets, and I've made them, the actual pocket bit, I've brought the sides in slightly so they kind of pucker out, so there's like a little bit more space for putting stuff in it, and then at the bottom I've just done a little pleat on each. So that's that. So next I'm gonna turn my little cup holder mock-up into a proper thing. So I'm gonna do casings for the elastic. I'm gonna do a little tab at the top to secure it and hem it all and make it nice and work and get rid of the pins. I really want one of those electric like pair of scissors. Not so much for this type of just like quick cutting, but when I have to cut out a lot of stuff, my hand hurts so much. Okay, so the cup holder is on its way. We're currently at this stage. I'm gonna do a French seam to attach the bottom and then make a little strap for the top, and then that'll be done and ready to connect. Making progress. But I also kind of feel like I'm playing a game of how many outfit changes can I do in one video? And I feel like I must be beating my previous record. But let's keep going on the cup holder. So I'm just gonna do a strap to connect these two bits. Tiny little square of Velcro. Okay, so this is going on my to hand sew pile because I don't want to put the Velcro through the machine. And next I'm going to do adding the straps to the outer fabric. I need to work out how long the handle wants to be and also what I'm going to do for the pocket. I want a pocket here. I could just cut a piece of fabric, but then I lose the check of what's underneath. I might just copy what's underneath, so I would make the 6 little squares and then add it in so it's a second layer. So then there's a slip pocket here, and then it will be secured down either side. So I've done the 2 pockets. So I've got the small one for the back, which will go just like right in center, and I've got the big one for the front, which goes like along the front. The front one, when it's all done, will have my my pins on it. So the webbing will be like that to make the strap. It will seal in the edges, pretty much like blend in. So I'm really pleased with that, how well it matches. Next job is I need to bind the top edge of the pocket, and I've got to do it on this one as well, whereas this one needs the top edge binding and the bottom edge just turning in and sewing down so it's an actual pocket and it's not just like a slip thingy. But the edges don't need to be sewn down or hemmed because they're going to be covered by the strap. I feel like it's coming together. Okay, so one of the main things that I wanted to do is find a better way to hold my walking stick while I'm using the rollator. The current system is it's attached onto this little plastic attachment. It has this little plastic thing that's always on it that holds it, and then you just slide it into there and it stays. And though I think this is a good solution, it's not flawless. The main issue I have with it is it slides, and over time, especially if you're on like uneven ground and cobbles, which I am a lot, the stick will slide through over time and you'll get to a point where it's hitting the ground and getting caught, and it's really annoying. If you have this and you're having that problem, my first suggestion is fill the plastic thing with hot glue. Makes such a big difference. Hot glue is kind of tacky, and also it gives more pressure on the stick, so it makes a big difference. But it doesn't get rid of the problem 100%. It still slides a lot slower, but it still slides and it still kind of annoys me. So here is my solution. What I want is a pouch. It'll sit about here, and the end of the walking stick will sit inside of the pouch, meaning that the stick physically cannot get lower than where it is. So I'm going to attach the pouch to the top and to the side so it's secure enough, and then the bottom of the stick will sit inside the pouch, and the top of the stick, instead of always having is an ugly plastic thing and a hairband on my stick at all times, it will be a couple of loops on the bag that are poppered and so they can be removed when I'm using the stick. And that is my plan for how I'm going to attach this stick. I'm a little bit concerned that when I'm not taking the bag with me, I won't have anywhere to attach the walking stick if I remove these pieces. So I need to have a think about that, and it may be the case of adding some loops on this bar to increase the stability. But first of all, I'm going to make a kind of pocket for the end of the stick. I haven't made a pattern for this yet, so I'm just gonna have a go and see where we get to. Okay, so here is my first, I guess, mock-up. So all I've done basically is pinned a little pouch and put 2 straps. So I've got some Velcro, and I'm thinking under here is Velcro, so I reckon I can steal a little bit of that and I can pin these to it. I don't want it too low because I don't want to hit things. So there's that, and then here's another one that I guess I'll just pin here. Okay, and then it could go like that. Actually, it already stays. A little bit of elastic just on the front. It kind of looks like it already works. So if I also added a little loop to up here, in the event that I don't have the bag, it would also stay. And then, oh, that's not long enough. But if you see what I mean, like that I could loop that to there, and then that would stay even without the bag. Tried to re-sew it so the seam was in the centre back, but it was so bulky that I just couldn't get the machine to go over it. So I ended up cutting off all of the hemming I did on the sides and the bottom, so the machine had to go over as few as possible. So the inside is not as nice now, but it is less bulky. That's where we're at so far. Good. Okay, so I think this has gone really well. It's much cuter than the original mock-up, and it will work better when there's something to attach the stick to. I think this concept definitely works. It's not going to hit the wheel. It's never going to slide down because it physically can't. And it's removable with just a couple of bits of Velcro. So I think this is a fairly good solution. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. I think that's good. Okay, so I may have some thoughts. I don't know. Would it be better for the walking stick pouch to be on the side of the rollator, where the walking stick has lived up until this point? Benefits to it being on the side are I could leave it on when I'm sat in the wheelchair and the stick wouldn't be in my way. I think it would be easier to make a loop to attach it to the rollator itself when it was on the side because of the horizontal bar. So I wouldn't always need to bring the bag with me, because honestly, I don't need to take the bag with me every time I'm going out. I don't need, every feature that I've put into it. And I want to be able to take the stick whenever I take the rollator, even if I'm not taking the whole bag. I think I might need to unpick some of what I've done. I think the concept is good. Okay, after a bit of a quick mock-up, I think this is what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go with the pouch on the side. It'll still be attached by Velcro underneath the cushion, and it will still have its little loop to the edge this time on the left, and then up here just simulating a loop on the side to make it stay. But yeah, that's the plan. Whether it's wheelchair, rollator, folded, any of the kind of ways it goes, I think this will work. So I think this is my current plan. So I just rejigged the straps that I already had, and I've come up with this. I'm a little bit nervous to attach it here because I can't work out what this gap is for on the rollator. I don't think it's for anything. I think when it's folded, I don't think it, you know, needs to be not obstructed. I don't think this is going to be a problem, but I'm not like 100% convinced. I'm going to sew the tabs on and sew the Velcro on, and then I'm going to make another tab up here to replace the black plastic. Hello. So I've got to finish sewing on the tabs. I've got to make the little loops for the top of the stick and sew on the Velcro. Move these over. Okay, so here's the kind of tentacly thing. This one. And I've got this one. Right. That goes in there. That goes like that. We need... I did it! Just gotta hand sew all the Velcro because my machine is already struggling with the amount of layers I've got, but proof of concept. I can't believe that how easy of a fix this has been. I could have done this so long ago. But anyway, I've done it now.